Welcome to Drunk Bible Study. This show's mission is to read every single word of the greatest story ever told. A warning to our listeners, the hosts of this show are sinners, but they're doing their best. There will be drinking and there may be some swears. They did say they'd try to keep it clean, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
I made a memory about your dad. He's in a book. Whoa, whoa. He has a history of skimming past all the pages of ageless confessional shit. I'm Emily, and this is Drunk Bible Study, where my good friends Dedeker and Jace teach me, a born and raised atheist, all about the Bible. So, Jason, Dedeker, how are we doing today? We're all sitting here together again.
Yeah, it's so good to be in the same room. It's so refreshing, really.
Yes,
it feels like home.
Last week too, but
yeah, but it's still
still
good.
basking.
Still on the hype. Still not
Yes.
sick of either of you yet.
No.
Yet.
Yet.
Soon.
This is a very special episode of Drunk Bible Study because a listener of ours brewed a custom beer for us to drink today
awesome.
and sent it to us.
And it's really good.
And it's really freaking good.
Yeah, we are drinking it right now. So let me tell you a little bit about it. This is called Mosaic Law, and it's a fun little beer pun because it's, like Moses, Mosaic Law, but it's brewed with Mosaic hops. So there's kind of the little double entendre.
Clever.
This is a Belgian-style pale ale brewed for us and named cool for us. And it's great. I mean, I've got a bunch of information here about it, like these Mosaic hops and Pilsner malt and some Cara Munich malt and a touch of Belgian biscuit malt.
Ooh, I love me some Belgian biscuits.
Yum, yum, yum.
And it's fermented with a Trappist yeast strain.
I do love the Trappist, I will say. Trappist beer made by those Belgian monks. I do have a soft spot in my heart.
Is that like what St. Bernardus is?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
There's a Belgian monk on St. Bernardus.
It probably is.
Oh.
It'd be really weird. They're like,
It's
nah.
my favorite beer.
They're like, nah, it's an IPA.
It's definitely not an IPA. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a Trappist yeast strain. So like from that family of yeast. And that his plan is to keep using this same starter from this yeast, or like to reuse this yeast for a series of Drunk Bible Study inspired Belgian beers.
So exciting.
So we're very excited to look forward to those. But I would love to hear from the two of you what you think about this beer. Like, what do you taste when you drink it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic beer right off the bat. Like, it does have some Belgian funkiness to it, but then, yes, there are a little bit of hops, which I appreciate. It's a very drinkable beer. It is a pale ale, so that creates, like, a little bit lighter, a little bit gentler, but again, like, pale ales tend to not be very interesting to me, but because the Belgian aspect of it is there, it makes me, like, very interested to drink it, but then, like, I'm not like, oh man, I gotta like take a rest after each sip because that's punching me in the face.
Yeah, I was
just
gonna
is easy to
say.
drink.
Yeah, it's not too hot. It definitely has the hops there, but not so much that it's turning me off. Because that tends to be the thing that makes it so that I don't enjoy IPAs so much. But no, this is very, very nice. I get a little bit of a nutty quality to it that I quite enjoy. Yeah, very
like
good job,
roasted
Kurt.
nuttiness.
Yeah.
And I like that the maltiness has sort of like a cleanness to it. Like some Belgians can be almost like
Too malty.
Yeah, like syrupy, like when
sweet,
when
yes.
you eat a malted milk ball, and that's like that coating's kind of in your mouth, that this is like has a cleaner finish. I think because it's a little bit hoppy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Totally.
Yes. Now I'm really worried that maybe Kurt's secretly trying to poison us.
It is possible. I have thought about it, so I just want to tell you both that I love you so much.
Oh, thanks.
And,
well, at least we'll
if
go
there's
out on
no
a very good
episode-
tasting beer.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, well, it tastes good. Like, I'm good. You know, that could be the case. But thanks, Kurt, for going through all the trouble.
Yeah,
And
seriously.
if you are poisoning us, wow, like, what an amazing ruse. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, it's a delicious poison.
What
It
a long
is.
con.
Indeed, which I guess all alcohol is a delicious poison, but here we are.
Okay, so that's what we're drinking today. Emily, do you remember what we read last time?
Oh gosh, it's stuff about leprosy, stuff about Skin ailments. Oh yeah, and then I read something about animals, and it was about the animals that you couldn't eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See,
Also
Dedeker-
childbirth as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were the childbirthing
Yes.
person.
And we learned that if a man loses the hair from his head, he is bald. And if he loses the hair just from the front part of his head, he is forehead bald.
Forehead bald.
I like that
There's like
front bald.
Yeah, front bald.
That's good too. That works.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. So we're going to play a fun game again like we did last time.
See, this is good because it keeps it in my head
Oh,
when Dedeker
right.
is like okay,
Divided by topics.
Correct,
It's not
yeah.
always so nicely categorized.
No, I
but-
can remember the topics better if it's done like this.
Okay, so here's the situation. We got 2 chapters, just 2.
And 3 of us.
However,
Mm.
first one is long, so I think it could be split into 2 parts.
Okay.
Okay.
And you may want to split it into 2 parts because it's still about leprosy and skin conditions and
So I guess Jason and I got
dealing with
one.
that. Well, hang on, don't speak too soon because the second chapter is about discharge.
I
What
love
kind of discharge?
that.
All kinds of discharge.
Oh boy.
Whatever you're thinking, it's that.
Wow. Really?
Really?
Anything.
I'm willing to bet.
Okay. So are both parts of chapter 14 about leprosy and skin
From my
things?
skimming, 14 is about like leprosy skin things and also, the requisite sacrifices that you got to do to deal with
You
Okay.
two
skin
did
things.
that and I'll do discharge.
You'll do discharge. You got the
Okay.
discharge.
I got it. I got this. You know
I
what?
already feel sick to my stomach, and I haven't
Well,
even read any of
But you're
this.
feeling better than you were last week. So
That's true. That's true.
should help.
I'm not coming into this with a stomach upset, so I'm not quite at the handicap that I
Yeah.
was last time.
That's
Right.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. Okay. Well,
Well, do you
Okay.
want to go first? Do you
Yeah,
want,
sure.
Do you want, okay.
I'll go
All right.
first. So I'm thinking it's 57 verses, so that's what 25ish each, 25ish and change. I'll go as far as I can. I'll go as far as I can take
I'll
you.
be like, you know what? You got this now.
And
It'll be like
then-
a relay race.
Exactly, and then you gotta take over.
So please join us in reading Leviticus chapters 14 and 15. And we want to remind everybody to read responsibly and drink responsibly.
You can drink along with us, although you can't drink the fancy beer that is only for us.
No, it's
Or you can listen to us while you're in the car.
please do not do both at the same time.
All right, with that, Leviticus chapter 14. Drink first. Here we go. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "This shall be the law of the leper in the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought to the priest, and the priest shall go forth out of the camp." The priest is like, F this.
Yeah, bye.
I'm out.
Oh. The priest shall examine him, and behold, if the plague of leprosy is healed in the leper, then the priest shall command them to take for him who is to be cleansed 2 living clean birds, no dirty birds,
Make sure those birds are scrubbed clean.
Yeah.
and cedarwood, and scarlet, and hyssop.
What's a hyssop?
It's like a kind of branch. It's a kind of plant.
Okay.
It's a
hyssop, like
Does Dedeker know this
is it
because
like a
she lived
birch?
like in the woods in
I
northern
mean, I did live in the
California?
woods. It is a small, bushy, aromatic plant of the mint family, used in cooking and herbal medicine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. So you got some hyssop, you got some clean birds. The priest shall command them to kill one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water.
What the what?
Huh?
Wait.
Kill one of the birds in an earthen vessel
So is he
over
drowning the bird?
running
No, it's
water.
over running water. Is it like over a river? Okay, hang on. As for the living bird, he shall take it, and the cedarwood, and the scarlet, and the hyssop, and shall dip them, and the living bird, in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. What is this
This is
witchcraft?
super messed up.
Yeah, this is like, toil and trouble.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
total Eye of Newt.
Yeah.
What? He shall sprinkle on him who is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird go into the open fields.
Wow, well, it's Sophie's choice on these birds here. seriously, it's like, which one do I choose? Which one gets to live and which one just gets
That's
dumped
really
in blood?
weird.
Wow.
What? Okay. I'm sorry. I can't. They're like, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, but get these birds and
dip
act like
one
a-
in the
dip
blood
one of them in the blood of the
other.
other. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Okay. He who is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes and shave off all his hair
Okay.
and bathe himself in water, and he shall be clean. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
And also bald.
And I mean, bald all over, I guess. After that, he shall come into the camp, but shall dwell outside his tent 7 days. It shall be on the 7th day that he shall shave all his hair off his head and his beard and his eyebrows.
Oh.
Even all his hair he shall shave off. Wow, it's just like,
Yeah, totally.
leave no stone
ball.
unturned,
Cue
leave
ball.
no hair unplucked.
What about his eyelashes?
Yeah,
I
like
know, I
he shall
wonder.
he shall sugar off all of his body hair.
Oh. He shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his body in water, then he shall be clean. On the 8th day, he shall take 2 male lambs without blemish, and 1 ewe lamb, a year old, without blemish, and 3/10 of an ephah.
I thought that they were going to say 3/10 of
Oh,
another
yeah.
type of lamb.
3/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a meal offering, mingled with oil, and 1 log of oil.
I was not aware that log was the unit of
Yeah,
measurement for
wow.
oil.
I
Like-
guess maybe it was back in the day.
A log of
A
oil.
log of oil.
Yeah,
is
how
that
much is that?
I want
A
to look up
log
some
of
translations here.
Biblical measurements. Less than 1/2 a pint, apparently. Half of a pint. So it's like a tiny bit of oil.
I see. Well,
Like a
so
cup.
one of the translations I found said a quart of
Oh.
of olive oil. This one actually
Okay.
specifies what type of oil. The message says, along with roughly 6 quarts of fine flour mixed with oil.
Great.
Well, that's different
Interesting.
than
Yeah, that
this.
is
Okay.
But okay.
The priest who cleanses him shall set the man who is to be cleansed and those things before Yahweh at the door of the tent of meeting. So he just picks up the man.
And all the
Yes,
things.
all the things.
Set
Okay.
him before Yahweh.
Oh, that bird's real happy now to be flippy flapping away,
Yeah.
free of
Free
all
of all
this
this.
freaky stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
The priest shall take one of the male lambs and offer him for a trespass offering with the log of oil and wave them for a wave offering
Yeah.
before Yahweh.
Gotta have
Classic.
the wave offerings.
Can we drink on the wave offering?
Yeah, all right. We can
Okay.
drink for wave and heave offerings.
Mhm. He shall kill the male lamb in the place where they kill the sin offering and the burnt offering in the place of the sanctuary. For as the sin offering is the priest's, so is the trespass offering. It is most holy. I'm totally lost, but I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
The priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it on the tip of the right ear
There's that tip of
Yeah,
the
There
right
it
ear
is.
love
again.
the tip of the right
of
ear.
him is to be
Yeah.
cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot.
Yep,
Okay.
classic.
hmm
Did the same thing with his little boys that he priest blessed, right?
His little boys, you mean Aaron's sons?
Aaron's
Yeah.
sons?
I don't know if they were little boys, but yes, Aaron's sons.
You know.
I guess the older ones were the killed ones.
Yes.
Yeah, but they got blood on them before that.
Oh, okay.
That was in the first part of the ceremony was when he
Yeah.
did the blood on the tip of the ear and the
Yes, that's
and the
right.
toe
Okay.
and
So this is,
stuff,
this is a classic move.
I'm
is
assuming,
a
are they
classic move,
wearing
yeah.
sandals? Do they have to take their shoes off?
Probably wearing sandals
Okay.
in the desert. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
yeah.
The priest shall take some of the log of oil and pour it into the palm of his own left hand. Plot twist. The priest shall dip his right finger in the oil that is in his left hand
Swirl it around a bit.
and shall sprinkle some of the oil with his finger 7 times before Yahweh. The priest shall put some of the rest of the oil that is in his hand on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the
With-
thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot,
So
upon
on top of
upon the blood
okay.
of the trespass
Yeah,
offering.
yeah, got
Okay,
it.
we're building. This is a makeup term. It's
We're
buildable.
building, I see.
Next is going to be the
blood
base.
I see.
The blood is the base coat.
Well, no, buildable foundation.
Yeah,
Like, This is
exactly.
a buildable,
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah,
b-
the blood is your primer. The oil is your foundation. Next is going to be the flour. That's going to be the bake. He's
yeah.
going to sprinkle it on, and we do the bake, and then we brush it off.
The bake?
Baking is an old technique where it's like you put on your concealer and your contour and everything, and then
Yeah.
you put like a lot of powder on your face and you leave it there,
Okay.
and it sets. and then you take a brush and you brush off the excess
I
power.
cannot say I've
Have
ever
you
done
not
that in my life.
watched any beauty vlogger videos on YouTube?
I definitely
have not either. So
I definitely have, and I don't recall that old technique.
well, you should try
it
it
was
sometime.
invented by Yahweh, as we're
Yeah,
learning
okay.
here.
So it's okay.
says.
So it's buildable. He puts on the rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand. He shall put on the head of him who is to be cleansed, and the priest shall make atonement for him before Yahweh. The priest shall offer the sin offering and make atonement for him who is to be cleansed because of his uncleanness, and afterwards he shall kill the burnt offering.
Of course.
And the priest shall offer the burnt offering and the meal offering on the altar. The priest shall make atonement for him, and he shall be clean. If he is poor and can't afford so much,
Okay.
gosh,
Then he's screwed.
then he shall take one male lamb for a trespass offering to be waived. Drink.
Yeah, gotta
Okay.
wave that lamb. Yeah.
To make atonement for him, and 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mingled with oil for a meal offering, and a log of oil, and 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons.
This is a lot for a person who can't afford.
No, seriously.
But maybe this is the kind of thing where it's like whatever, anyone can afford a turtle dove. You just walk into the desert and catch one. They're so dumb.
Is that an easy thing to
I've
catch?
never caught one myself.
I mean,
Well, then I guess you'd be
pigeons,
screwed in
like,
this situation.
pigeons, I get it. 2 pigeons, easy. Like go to
yeah.
any.
Have you ever caught a pigeon before?
But I'm
Just like
saying-
on the streets of L.A. or New York.
Look, if I went like downtown LA or New York or like any city, and with like a little net, a small net,
A small net.
I could
Tiny
just toss
net.
it over some pigeons
Okay.
easy.
It's true. You just toss out some goldfish, get a tiny net, done.
Like the crackers, you mean?
Yes. Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
like 2
Okay.
live goldfish
Toss them on the street.
flapping around.
Anyway, on the 8th day, he shall bring them for his cleansing to the priest, to the door of the tent of meeting before Yahweh. The priest shall take the lamb of the trespass offering and the log of oil, and the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. Drink.
I just like I want to see like a live reenactment of one of these wave offerings.
But like a live reenactment by people who know as little about this as us, who are just trying to
I don't
follow
know.
the
Don't
like
like theologians know what
That wouldn't
it
be a
is?
bad live show thing to do. Just have someone come up and like act out
There
what
you
we're
go.
reading.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's awesome.
He shall kill the lamb of the trespass offering. The priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, put it on the tip of the right ear of him who's to be cleansed, on the thumb of his right hand, on the big toe of his right foot. Oh, here we go again on my own, repeating stuff. Classic Yahweh. The priest shall pour some of the oil into the palm of his own left hand, and the priest shall sprinkle with his right finger some of the oil that is in his left hand 7 times before Yahweh. And the priest shall put some of the oil that is in his hand on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, on the thumb of his right hand, on the big toe of his right foot,
Got it.
on the
Buildable.
place of the blood of the trespass offering. Okay, I've read more than half of this chapter. I'm done. You got to take over.
Okay. The rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand, you guessed it, he shall put it on the head of him who is to be cleansed, and make atonement for him before Yahweh. He shall offer one of
Is that word so intense?
Yahweh.
he shall offer one of the turtle doves, or of the young pigeons, such as he is able to afford.
Okay.
Okay. So he had to have 2 and 2, but actually maybe not, because it depends.
No,
what he
it
could
was
afford.
2.
It was 2.
Just 2 of one or
One
the other.
or the
Oh,
other.
I see.
I see.
Okay.
That was the
So-
or. Okay.
yeah.
Got it. So either one of the turtle doves or one of the young pigeons, depending which he could afford.
Is the turtle dove presumably more expensive than the pigeon?
I assume it is, but I have no idea how that would have been at the time.
I would definitely pay double what I paid for a pigeon. Personally.
Would
That's
you?
just me
Would
personally.
you?
Yes. If I had to, yes.
Are you in the market for a turtle dove or a pigeon?
Well, I mean, I'm glad you asked. If you got any leads, let me know.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like, sure, I'd probably pay double for a turtle dove what I'd pay for a pigeon, but I would pay for a pigeon like maybe $1. You know?
Especially if you could just take your net and go catch it.
That's what I mean. Even such as he is able to afford, the one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering with the meal offering. The priest shall make atonement for him who is to be cleansed before Yahweh. This is the law for him in whom is the plague of leprosy, who is not able to afford the sacrifice for his cleansing. Oh, I see.
Right.
So now for someone who can't afford it at all. Oh no, that is
No, that
that's
was what
the-
we just
was it.
said.
Got
Yes.
it, got
Yeah.
it. He's like, if they can't afford it, send them out with a net, grab a couple of pigeons. We
Yeah,
got
bring
this.
them back.
Okay.
We'll do something about it.
Yahweh spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, When you have come into the land of Canaan, which I gave you for a possession, and I put a spreading mildew in a house in the land of your possession, then he who owns the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, There seems to me to be some sort of plague in the house.
Just casually.
There seems to me that there's some kind of plague.
Okay, well, hang on. To be
Ladies.
fair, though, he's talking about a mildew. And honestly, if in my house I found a mildew, I would say it that casually. Be like, it seems like I'm getting some kind of mildew in the
some
house.
like the black mold type
Yeah.
thing that some people tend to get in LA.
I might be more panicked about the black mold, but
Yeah.
but
it's a bad thing.
But I wouldn't be like, there seems to be some kind of plague in the house. You know.
Well,
how
I
it
mean, I
is.
guess that's what they thought of it as
That's
back
true.
in the day.
That's true. That's true.
They didn't know about mildew or
Or
mold.
this could be a translation thing where plague seems to be used as a catch-all for
That's-
many
yeah,
things.
It's a
true.
plague upon your house.
Yes.
But that could mean anything.
Yeah, I like this though. I feel like I may in the future go to a landlord with this. Be like, so there
plague."
seems to be some sort of plague in the house, and they'll go, what?
They'll go,
You're like, yeah, you
"Excuse
heard
me?"
me.
I'm like, I was reading the Bible recently, and I don't have a priest that I can go to about this, so I figure you're my best bet. But this is what Yahweh told me to tell you. The priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest goes in to examine the plague, and all that is in the house not be made unclean. That all that is in the house may not be made unclean. So don't let it spread to those things.
Okay.
Got it. And afterward, the priest shall go in to inspect the house. He shall examine the
Okay,
plague.
hang on.
Yeah?
This is quite a job for the priests. They got to know how to butcher animals.
Yeah.
They got to know how to cook up those animals.
Yep.
They got to know how to examine skin diseases.
They're jacks
They
of all
have to
trades.
know how to inspect homes for mildew.
Yeah.
I mean, at first I was kind of skeptical of the priests just kind of living this cushy life and eating everyone's
Yeah,
animals.
but
And
they
now
do
I'm
have
like,
a lot to
God,
do,
you got
yeah.
a lot of stuff
No,
to
they're
do,
like
man.
the main people of the town.
Yes.
Right.
They're men
They
about
mean-
town.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like we established earlier, they're also kind of like local judges too.
Yeah, that too.
Jeez,
They
they have all the jobs.
Lots of responsibility.
Every job. No wonder
Yeah.
that Yahweh decided to write about them and not other people.
Yeah. Until we get to the chapters about the the builders and the
cheesemakers,
cheesemakers.
What?
And, yeah.
Yeah, blessed are the cheesemakers.
Yeah. That's what I heard him say.
I don't know what this is.
It's from The Life of Brian, the Monty
Damn
Python
it.
movie.
Okay. Wait, I thought that you guys were not even joking right then, but it sounds like you were.
That's not a real thing.
That's the whole point.
Well, you could literally say anything
Emily,
about the Bible,
okay,
and
Emily,
I'd be like, "Oh, really?"
Emily, that is 80% of our fun on this podcast.
Yeah.
All right, continue.
Okay. Let's see. Then, he shall examine the plague, and behold, if the plague is in the that's a drink, by the
Yes, I
way.
know.
And behold, if the plague is in the walls of the house with hollow streaks,
Ugh.
greenish or reddish, and it appears to be deeper than the wall, it's the same
yes,
as the
it's
skin.
like exactly. If it's
If it-
deeper, then
Deeper
we're
than the
cutting it
skin.
off.
Yeah. Then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house and shut up the house
Shut up, house.
7 days. The priest shall come again on the 7th day and look. If the plague has spread in the walls of the house,
I just see the priest peering through the door, just being poking his head out.
No, I envision total Stranger Things where it's like the upside down, where it's like all
all the
mildew and
vines on the
spores.
walls,
Like he's just
Ugh.
peeking. Yeah, I imagine it really terrible.
And then the
Okay.
Demogorgon jumps
Pops out and gets
Yeah.
the priest.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, the priest shall come again on the 7th day and look if the plague has spread in the walls of the house. Then the priest shall command that they take out the stones in which is the plague.
Okay.
So these are stone houses.
I guess a stone wall. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought
Okay.
of them as more like adobe.
I thought of them as tents. So
Wow. Okay. Well.
Well, this is in the land of Canaan, where there are houses.
I see. They have their permanent houses in Canaan.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Exactly.
a
Yes.
tent could be a
Okay.
permanent house.
Well, not
Yeah.
in this scenario.
But the whole point of the tent was that they could pack it up and move it, like the tent of meeting. You know?
Are they going to pack this tent up?
They
Yeah,
do pack the
They
tent
do.
up. They talked
They're
about
nomads.
that. Yeah.
Well, if they're nomads in the land of Canaan, then why would they need to move the tent?
Because the Lord works in mysterious ways. Keep reading.
Okay.
No, we talked about this as like a seasonal thing. It's like they probably stayed.
They're like seasonal contractors. Like it's like
Kind
a
of.
touring show here.
Yeah, they do sort of. They're in Canaan.
Like Les Miserables today.
I don't
like. They're on rotation.
Yeah.
Is it you're
Cats
wandering the
tomorrow?
desert, but when you eventually get to Canaan and you eventually conquer it and settle there, this is how you're going to deal with houses instead of
Or
tents?
do some of them stay in?
I feel like this was a chapter that was written much later and inserted.
It seems to be.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Moses pops up in Aaron.
Because this is the first time he's referred to a house that anyone belongs to. Like, it's
It's
all been
not a
tents,
tent.
tents,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Door of
Yeah.
the tent, flap of the tent, stay out of your tent, and then now all of a sudden it's a house. And so I
Yeah.
think this must have happened at a period of time where they suddenly did have houses in Canaan, and they're like, oh, now we need to figure out house law.
Those Canaan days we used to know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm actually looking this up. So the purity laws section of Leviticus, actually all of Leviticus, is supposed to have taken place in 1445 BC. So to kind of put that in some perspective, Genesis ended at 1800 BC, and then Exodus picked right up there, and Exodus went from 1800 all the way up to 1445.
Gosh.
So a good 300-400 year stretch.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, we were in Genesis, and then all of a sudden, we're in Job for a while. Are we
Right.
gonna flip around again?
We will a little bit, but not much for at least the next couple books.
For a while, yeah, we'll
We'll
gonna
stay in the normal book order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then later we will do some jumping around again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So then, what is it? He shut up the house, and then he told them to take... Okay, then the priest shall command that they take the stones out in which is the plague, and cast them into an unclean place outside of the city.
Okay.
And he shall cause the inside of the house to be scraped round about, and they shall pour out the mortar that they scraped off outside of the city into an unclean place.
Alrighty.
Okay. They shall...
I guess you're at a time where you don't really have like bleach or anything to just
Right,
scrub
right.
stuff down.
Wonder how they scrape it. Like with what sort of tool?
A scraping
A
tool.
little scrape and spade.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a spade is what I
Yeah,
thought.
probably.
Yeah.
They shall take other stones and put them in the place of those stones, and he shall take other mortar and shall plaster the house. Oh, these are like plastered houses. Okay, wow.
Huh.
If the plague comes again and breaks out in the house, after he has taken out the stones, and after he has scraped the house, and after it was plastered, then the priest shall come in and look, and behold, if the plague has spread in the house, it is a destructive mildew in the house.
Oh, no.
It
Dang.
is unclean.
Destructive mildew. You are a destructive mildew.
You're a
How dare
destructive
you.
mildew. He shall break down the house, its stones and its timber, and all the house's mortar. He shall carry them out of the city into an unclean place.
Wow.
Moreover, he who goes into the house while it is shut up shall be unclean, shall be unclean until the evening. He who lies down in the house shall wash his clothes, and he who eats in the house shall wash his clothes. Okay, if you eat there or lie down there.
Jeez.
Yes, there's a cat all up on Emily right now.
Yeah.
The cat is loving this destructive mildew.
Yeah,
The cat is purring his little heart out
Yeah.
on me.
he is a destructive mildew.
Yes, he
Yes.
is.
Okay. If the priest shall come in and examine it, and behold, the plague hasn't spread in the house, after the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, because the plague is healed.
Yay.
Yay! But we're not done yet.
Oh, of course.
To cleanse the house, he shall take 2 birds,
No.
and cedar wood, and scarlet, and
oh
hyssop.
no, more
And
of this
scarlet
witchy
and
stuff.
silver. Yeah.
No.
He shall kill one of the birds
No.
in an earthen vessel over running water, whatever that
What
In
means.
an
Yeah, what does
earthen
that mean?
vessel over running water.
Is this a song that you all know?
No, but it should be. In an earthen vessel
Yes,
over
exactly.
running water.
That's what I was aiming for. But you can actually
shall
sing.
be my
You can
sin
sing.
offering. I don't know what. Yeah. No, I love it. You could probably do this, and most Christians would not have read this section because why would you if you weren't doing a podcast on it?
Truly.
I'm telling you,
and they would just think like, oh, that's some cool imagery that's in the Bible. I didn't realize that.
Oh, this is definitely one of those where you could totally pull the bait and switch and be like, look at this verse in the Quran of what they're telling people to do, or
and they'll be like, that sounds like witchcraft
be like,
to
that
me.
sounds like total witchcraft.
And
You're like, actually, that's from the Bible.
No.
Yeah, it's a good one. Good prank.
Wow.
Good pranks. Pranks and ganks.
Yeah.
Okay. He shall take the cedar wood and the hyssop and the scarlet and the living bird and dip them, classic, in the blood of the slain bird and in the running water and sprinkle the house 7 times. He shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird and with the running water, with the living bird, with the cedar wood, with the hyssop and with the scarlet. But he shall let the living bird go out of the city into the open
And the
field.
bird is seriously like, thank God.
Yeah.
Does he like take the bird in his hands and just like throw it into the sky?
That's what I'm imagining, kind of like magic show style.
Yeah.
So he shall make atonement for the house, and it shall be clean. This is the law for any plague of leprosy, and for an itch, and for the destructive mildew of a garment, and for a house, and for a rising, and for a scab, and for a bright spot, to teach when it is unclean and when it is clean. This is the law of leprosy.
Okay.
They actually call something the law of leprosy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Whoever wrote this chapter of the Bible, I'm going to give some unasked for feedback. I really wish you didn't bury the lead. I wish you kind of started with your thesis statement here of, this is all the different categories we're covering today, instead of launching straight into it and then, oh, by the way, this is all those things.
I mean, God kind of just launches into things, though.
That's true.
Especially when he's like giving instructions.
Yeah.
He's just like, and you will do this, and I'm going to say it to you again because I know that you're a little stupid human man, and you're going to need to hear it 3 or 4 times before it gets into your stupid little brain.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right.
You ready?
Boy.
Who is ready for some discharge?
Right after these messages from your sponsors, we're about to talk about discharge. I read like a line and
okay, no, do it.
I'm girding my loins is all that I'm saying.
Girding that with what exactly?
With
This
strong
alcohol.
drink, yeah.
Yes, this alcohol, clearly. Okay, here we are.
All right, before we go on to the next chapter of the Bible, we want to take a quick moment to talk about how this show gets made and how you can help ensure that this show keeps getting made. And the best way to do that is to become one of our supporters on Patreon. So on our Patreon, which is at patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy, we have several tiers where you can help support this show, as well as getting a bunch of cool benefits. So the first is that even for just $1 a month, you can become a member of our Patreon, and that helps us to keep this show going, as well as getting you access to being able to comment on the Patreon page, as well as read comments that we make or that other members make. At $6 a month, you can be a parishioner, which lets you get access to our bonus episodes, which we record basically every week to go along with the episode. Sometimes
They're very fun.
Yeah, they're super fun to do. Sometimes these are like more in-depth analysis or research on something, or sometimes it's an interview with an expert. Sometimes it's just watching movies or musicals based on the Bible together and joking about them or commenting on them. And then at $12 a month, you can become a disciple. And with that, in addition to becoming part of the community, getting all the bonus episodes and anything else that we put out, you also get ad-free episodes, and they come out 2 days early. So you get to be cooler than all of your friends because you already know those Bible chapters 2 days before them. So then when you listen together with them, you can be like, I knew that.
I knew that, obviously. Duh. No question.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So in addition to this, we're also really trying to reach our goal of getting 300 patrons. So this is a very exciting goal because once we reach it, we can start releasing 2 Bible studies a week instead of 1. And that's amazing. I mean, it means that you and we do not need to wait as long between episodes. We don't have to wait as long to record multiple episodes. y'all don't need to wait as long to get those multiple episodes. So it's a win-win-win, win-win for everyone.
Also, we would absolutely love to hear what you think of the show. So if you can take 2 minutes out of your day to go to iTunes or to Stitcher and leave us a review, we would love to hear from you. Is there a particular chapter that really moved you as you heard us drunkenly read it and make jokes about it?
Wow.
What's your background? Were you also raised atheist like Emily was, or were you raised in the church, in the Christian church like Jason and I were? Were you raised in a completely different religion? We want to know your thoughts. So again, go to iTunes or go to Stitcher and leave us a review. Let us know.
Yahweh spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel and tell them, when any man has a discharge from his body, because of his discharge he is unclean. This shall be his uncleanness in his discharge, whether his body runs with his discharge." How many times can we say this, God?
I can't.
How many times can we say this word?
I can't.
No, it's okay.
I can't.
Just power through this part.
Dedeker, you got this.
I want to
Okay.
get to the specifics.
This shall be his uncleanness in his discharge, whether his body runs with his discharge or his body is stopped from his discharge. It is his uncleanness.
Okay, hang on though, Jace. Like, I don't think it's going to get any more specific. I think it's just going to be discharge. And for some reason, it's almost worse because when it's vague, I think of the most disgusting thing. My brain fills in the most disgusting possible discharge from the most disgusting possible origin
Orifices?
or orifice.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking of, and I hate it.
I think we're gonna get specific enough that we're gonna be able to make some guesses about the different discharges here. But
this next line is
but
fun.
I do want to know because now I have concerns. So
All right, well let's keep going. All right. Every bed whereon he who as the discharge lies shall be unclean, and everything he sits on shall be unclean.
okay.
Yeah, that definitely like evokes some emotion within my body and soul.
Yep.
Okay. Whoever touches his bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. He who sits on anything whereon the man who has the discharge sat shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. He who touches the body of him who has the discharge shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until evening. If he who has the discharge spits on him who is clean,
Jeez, rude.
yeah, he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening.
Maybe like it just means like if he like is talking to you and he gleeks on you.
Gross, bro.
Can
Just like an accidental
you
gleek?
gleek on command?
Oh,
Some people
my.
can.
I can't. Stop reading ahead. I'm reading.
No,
Yeah.
I'm looking at some translations actually of an earlier verse that I was curious about.
What you got?
Okay, wow. I don't even know where to start, you guys. This is verse
give it to us.
3. Can you read me verse 3 again?
I can. This shall be his uncleanness in his discharge. Whether his body runs with his discharge or his body is stopped from his discharge, it is his uncleanness. Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
Okay, let me... Okay, New International Version says, whether it continues flowing from his body or is blocked, it will make him unclean. But here's some other translations that I just want you to ruminate.
Is this going to make me happier or less happy?
Less.
It's going to make me happier because it's a little more specific. I don't know about you though. Well, it's weird how different they are. So the Message says whether it comes from a seepage or an obstruction, he is unclean. He is unclean all the days. His body has a seepage or an obstruction.
Seepage. What? The Message. The
That is
Message.
the Message too.
The Message. You are normally the bastion of understanding
Right?
and normalcy, and sometimes some hilarity with the words that you choose. Why seepage?
I mean, I guess they were like, well, people need to know what this might come from.
Now here's where it gets interesting. The Good News translation says whether the penis runs with it
Excuse me?
or is stopped up by
What?
it.
Oh, so we are talking
Oh, we
of
are talking
literal,
about
like,
dicks.
Well, This one translation here has
It's the only one?
God's Word translation also says he is unclean because of the discharge from his penis. Whether it is chronic or not makes no difference.
So we're
He
talking
is still
some,
unclean.
So
like,
it's specifically
chlamydia here.
It's specifically penis.
Something.
And then every other translation was like tried to censor it or like
I
be
guess.
quote unquote clean by not mentioning the
I'm
fact
like,
that it's
what does
specifically
the
a penis.
King James Bible say?
Okay, but hang on, because it
a
seems
good question.
it seems unlikely to me that a translator would add in penis.
Well, okay.
Seems more likely they'd
that's
take it
true.
out.
The King James Version says that you'll enjoy this. And this shall be his uncleanness in his issue, whether his
Okay.
flesh run with his issue or his flesh be
His
stopped
flesh.
up from his
That's
issue.
okay. Definitely a dick.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense then.
Can I read you my favorite
You
translation?
may, of
This
course.
is the Darby translation. And this shall be his uncleanness in his flux. Flux, flux. Whether his flesh run with his flux or his flesh be closed from his flux, it is his uncleanness.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we're reading this with the understanding that this is discharge from a penis.
Yeah, others use the word emission instead
Emission's
of
definitely from a
discharge.
penis.
You know, when people get an infection, like say they get a cut or something, like it could pus, it could like
Yes.
emit discharge.
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
of
I was
when
thinking-
I
reading
wasn't
this.
sure, yeah.
I thought they were covering all
Um,
bases with any kind of discharge.
yeah, but
you know,
I guess-
but no.
Well, okay. Well, I'm going to read the next.
Yeah, okay.
next
Sorry, I just wanted to be
line.
sure we had
Yes,
a little
but
context
this
here.
makes a little bit more sense now after this next line. Whatever saddle he who has the discharge rides on shall be unclean.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm assuming they don't have like jockey shorts on.
Oh, that's true. He's just
He's just freeballing it.
freeballing it on that
Yeah.
saddle there. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that makes
Okay,
sense.
okay. Yeah.
Whoever touches anything that was under him shall be unclean until the evening.
Yeah, you could have just said that at the start and
Yeah.
you would have covered everything we've said so
I
far.
know.
Yeah.
He who carries all those things shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. Whoever he who has the discharge touches without having rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening.
I just realized this is this whole unclean thing where you got to like do a thing and you're going to be unclean until a certain time is like the basis for cooties.
Yeah, kind
They
of.
work on a very similar principle
That's
where it's
interesting.
like if you've come into contact with this person, you therefore have cooties until you've
Yeah.
done your cootie
So you've
shot.
done your cootie shot, your circle,
and then a
circle,
certain
dot,
amount
dot.
of time goes by. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
I forgot about the cootie shot, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Ours was circle, circle, dot, dot. Now I have my cootie shot. That's what we
You
did.
draw circles on them
Yeah.
and then dot dot.
Yeah.
That's
And there's
good.
also the one about like you make the ring with your
Yes.
fingers and someone has to cut it with their
That's
hands.
from in the Japanese style.
Huh.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Anyway, there's lots of ways of administering cures for cooties, just like there are many ways
To administer cures for discharge
For
from the
uncleanness.
penile region.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, am I on 14?
You're on
No.
12? The earthen vessel, which he who has the discharge touches, shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water.
Gosh, they're really not.
I'm really upset by this.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
By these cooties.
if they touch it, presumably he's touching it with his hands.
Yeah, I guess
not
the
with
assumption
his
is like
dick.
you would be handling your own dick with your hands, though, and
I suppose
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
guess so.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
fine. So, okay. When he who has a discharge is cleansed of his discharge, then he shall count to himself 7 days for his cleansing.
1,000 all the rest of the day.
Yeah,
2
exactly.
1,000 all the rest of the day. Yeah.
And wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. On the 8th day he shall take 2 turtle doves
And
or
a
2
partridge.
pigeons and come before Yahweh to the door of the tent of meeting and give them to the priest. And the priest shall offer them, one for the sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. The priest shall make atonement for him before Yahweh for his
I'm
discharge.
so sorry about this discharge.
Yeah.
Yahweh, please forgive this
God,
discharge.
apologize to the people around you.
Well, I mean, this is very interesting because I think of like nowadays, like you can go and get an antibiotic for such discharge. But back in the day, you had to like,
So you gotta wait for that stuff to heal itself.
well, and you had
or
to
hope
like
that it heals
hope
itself.
that it heals
Yeah.
itself. Like
And just-
syphilis would not heal
Yeah,
itself.
and just
back
try
in
to
the
not
day.
spread it
True.
around to other people as best as
Yeah.
possible.
Which is important.
Gracious.
That is important.
It
to
is
not
important.
spread
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. If any man, here we go. If any man has an emission of semen,
Okay, at least it's not a discharge.
no, just
At
an emission
least.
of semen,
Yeah,
just
okay.
a random emission, then he shall bathe all his flesh in water and be unclean until the evening. Whoa. Wait,
Yeah,
does that
so-
mean like any emission?
That seems that's
It
what
doesn't
it says.
seem like there's
Yeah.
any room for arguing that.
If you masturbate,
Yeah.
Oh, phew. Well, I mean, we've
Well, we already have a
talked about.
precedent of how. If
I know that if you masturbate and spill that seed, you will die.
Yes.
But
Yes, that is what happened.
But
yeah.
this is like if you
have a wet
an
dream.
emission, exactly.
Yes.
I think also if you have sex,
Yes.
right?
You're
It seems
unclean
like
until
after you've
sex.
had sex, you're
Well,
unclean
it's
until
like-
the evening, and you've cleaned yourself.
It's like that episode of Sex in the City where Miranda had sex with that guy who was really religious, and every single time after they had sex, he would go and take a shower.
Why? Because
and
he
then
felt.
was he also unclean till the evening?
I don't know. I mean, maybe because he felt unclean, and so he needed to go take
I mean,
a shower.
sometimes I do that after sex.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's nice
You know,
sometimes.
Well,
Sometimes
sure.
nice to
I
have a
mean,
little shower
yeah.
afterwards.
Instead of like, but like immediately, instead of like
I
laying
see.
there
Like
for,
no, I
laying
see.
there for
Can't
a
even like
second.
lay there and cuddle.
Yeah,
just,
exactly.
Okay.
It was like, and we're done, and
Okay.
now
And
shower.
shower.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I have a fun game to play with you two right here.
Okay.
So
Is it fun or is it
I've-
not fun?
This is a semen-related game.
it's a semen-related game.
Cool.
Boy.
So I just looked up translations for this verse here that we just read, which is verse 16. And the translations have a few different ways they go about describing semen.
Okay.
Different sort of, you could say euphemisms.
Of course.
And I was just curious if you could guess what any of them
Okay.
are.
Seed.
Seed.
Seed for sure.
Issue.
Yes. You know what's funny is I actually did not see issue as any of these, but I thought for sure that would be
Emission.
that would be a good one. Well, doesn't this one say emission?
An emission of semen. Yes, it does.
An emission of semen. Yeah, so emission of semen
right.
comes up in a few translations.
I got
yeah.
any hints?
Well, okay, so with seed,
Projectile.
gosh. With seed, they like to attach descriptors to it.
Man juice.
I doubt
No,
that somehow.
That's definitely not.
A seed of offspring.
You're it's
Seed
fun.
of progeny.
You're probably not going to guess it.
Dang
I'm
it.
just going to give you this one.
All right, fine.
It's his seed of copulation,
Oh, okay.
which I
That makes
just think
sense.
is a great.
Wait, seed of copulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, again, that's again implying that like the only thing that semen is used for is
It's copulation.
well, or to procreate or something.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the seed of copulation.
All right,
and if
well,
you
fine.
waste it other places, then it's still that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Seminal emission is another one that's used in one of these. His seed is a good one.
So no daddy butter.
Wow. Wow.
You're just so
She is
upsetting
on
today.
fire right now.
I know.
I'm sorry. Okay,
Seriously.
I've been really hurt by everything we've read so far, and I just,
So she just
all
has
I
to
know
take
is
it
how to
out
pay
on
it
us.
forward.
Yeah.
Just lashing
okay.
out now. Oh man, this Tyndale Bible is really good. This is all spelled like if is spelled like YF. It's all
Oh,
like that sort of style. If any man's seed departeth fro him in his slepe, he shall wash his flesh in water, and be unclean until eve.
it's departed from him.
Yeah.
Like it's like bye.
I'm out.
Oh my gosh. And then this is the best one of all of them.
Okay.
Oh no.
This is from the Wycliffe Bible.
What's that?
We've kind of talked about this a little bit before.
Okay.
I don't remember though.
I don't either.
Go back and listen to it.
Cool. Okay.
A man from whom the seed of lechery, either of fleshly coupling, goeth out, shall wash in water all his body, and he shall be unclean till to eventide.
The
I love
seed
that.
of
Till to
lechery.
The seed of lechery.
Next
I mean, that's
time-
kind of hot. I'm
I
kind of
know.
into
I
the
mean,
seed of
next time
lechery.
you have sex and be like, oh, your
Ooh,
seed
I
of
want your
lechery.
seed of
Oh my
lechery
gosh. Oh,
to all the way to
No.
the eventide, baby.
Let's be unclean until eventide.
Oh,
Okay,
drug
stop.
Bible study
Stop.
ruining
Stop. Oh.
ruining my sex life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously. This is okay.
Pitching a tent all over the place. Sorry, my mom brought that up with me the other day because she had just listened to the episode and she was like, pitching a tent. Haha.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like, yeah. There it is. Alrighty. Okay.
Verse 17.
Yes, verse 17. Every garment and every skin whereon the semen is. Okay. Shall be washed with water and be unclean until the evening. Well, no, it's hot water. It doesn't get semen off very well. Right? Does it get kind of sticky?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think they had a lot of like hot water convenient. So this is probably just plain old
that
water,
sucks
yeah.
because plain water does not cut it when it comes to removing semen.
That's the thing,
yeah.
right?
Well,
amazingly,
it will be unclean until the evening.
When presumably it's just like wiped itself off or something.
It's very resilient.
Yeah, it wants to get up there.
It wants to get all up in places and cling to them.
All right. If a man lies with a woman and there is an emission of semen, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the evening.
I see.
Oh, God, here we go. If a woman has a discharge, and her discharge in her flesh is blood, she shall be in her impurity 7 days, and whoever touches her shall be unclean
Okay,
until
so
the
is
evening.
this like just menstrual period or just a
I'm
discharge that
assuming.
happens to be bloody?
And her discharge in her flesh is blood seems to imply...
She shall be in her impurity 7 days, which I'm assuming is like...
That would be the standard amount of time.
Well, sure, like
Right.
give or take a couple days, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it seems that way.
So everything that she lies on in her impurity shall be unclean. Everything that she also sits on shall be unclean. Wow. This is sad for a lady back in the day. Whoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. Whoever touches anything that she sits on shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. If it is on the bed or on anything whereon she sits, when he touches it, he shall be unclean until the evening. If any man lies with her and her monthly flow, there it is on him.
It's all on him.
And her monthly flow is on him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and every bed whereon he lies shall be unclean.
Wow, so really discouraging
Wow.
period sex
No,
here.
seriously, like what the heck?
Well, I mean, we did cover I think actually in like a bonus thing a couple of weeks ago that this whole clean unclean thing isn't saying that being unclean is bad. It's just saying
it is a temporary state, technically.
it's a temporary state, and that the state of uncleanness just means you can't go like in the presence of Yahweh, basically. Like you can't go to the temple in a state of uncleanness. So it's not. I feel like that's something that's interesting about this. Is it's not necessarily saying these things are bad. It's just like while you have this cootie phase, you can't.
And I think it's
do certain things.
Yes,
like
and I
you
think
have
it's
to
also
separate
in a culture where it's like you don't have soap. Maybe you have soap, but you don't have like antibacterial soap and antibiotics and like alcohol wipes and hand sanitizer and like it's like you don't have a lot of the normal sanitation stuff that we take for granted. It is kind of like you just really got to be careful.
Yeah,
like you really got to be careful.
Stay away from people for a while.
Yeah,
and I guess like back in the day, they probably had no idea what the hell a period was.
I mean, they know something. They know the symptoms of it at least.
Yeah.
Maybe not know why
they
it's
probably
happening.
know that it's like blood and being around blood causes some diseases sometimes,
Maybe.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's not great. So
It's
they
like
probably...
these women keep on bleeding
You
every
know.
month. What is going on?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well-
So, but it's okay. So if a man lies with her, then he's unclean 7 days too.
Which
Got
I
it.
think is like kind of ridiculous, but okay.
But fine, though. It's just 7 days. Can't go to the temple, or that's all right.
All right.
Small price to pay.
Yeah. Yeah. If a woman has a discharge of her blood many days, not in the time of her period, or if she has a discharge beyond the time of her period, all the days of the discharge of her uncleanness shall be as in the days of her period. She is unclean. So it's interesting that the Bible calls it her period.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like that word was created from the Bible.
Bear in mind, translator.
Sure.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. So it's all,
Yeah.
gosh, it all depends.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the translation is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. So every bed whereon she lies all the days of her discharge shall be to her as the bed of her period. Everything whereon she sits shall be unclean as the uncleanness of her period. Whoever touches these things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. But if she is cleansed of her discharge, then she shall count to herself 7 days.
1,000.
And after that she shall be clean. On the 8th day she shall take 2 turtle doves or
here
2
we go.
pigeons and bring them to the priest to the door of the tent of meeting. Gosh, I am surprised that these turtle doves and pigeons didn't just like completely die out.
Yeah, seriously.
The priest shall offer the one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering, and the priest shall make atonement for her before Yahweh for the uncleanness of her discharge. Thus you shall separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, so they will not die in their uncleanness. When they defile my tabernacle that is in their midst.
Jeez.
Right, so this is what we're saying. It's like, if they were to go into the tabernacle while in a state of uncleanness,
You're defiling it.
then they would die. God would kill them all. I think that's the threat here.
Wow.
At least that's how I'm reading it. Is that what you're getting from it too?
Yeah.
It's like all the times that Yahweh said something to the effect of like, do this so that you not die, is to me is like
veiled
the
threat.
it's like
The
it would
veiled
be a
threat,
real
yeah.
shame if something would happen to this nice restaurant you got here.
Yeah.
You know, it's
okay,
like that
I hear
kind
ya.
of
Yeah, all right. So this is the law of him who has a discharge, and of him who has an emission of semen, so that he is unclean thereby, and of her who has a period, and of a man or a woman who has a discharge, and of him who lies with her who is unclean. Wow.
Wow. Wow. So
Well,
many
we-
things we learned today about all of the discharges of the body.
How many
nice songs
books
you
are
got
there
here.
in Leviticus? Because
How many books?
How many
14
chapters, you mean?
Chapters, sorry, yes.
There's 27. So
All right.
we're pretty much halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 5 episodes left in Leviticus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And there's
That's
stuff I know we're going to get to that we haven't yet. So I am excited about that.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen next? What could possibly be coming next after all
I
of
mean,
that?
what other bodily ailments are there potentially?
I mean,
like sickness? Is there something like regarding just general illness? Is there something regarding like dead bodies? Is there something regarding burial procedures?
I could see that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
could
I
definitely
could see
see
there
that.
being a section on dealing with dead bodies and burying and like how long you're
Yeah.
unclean after that process and what. Yeah, that's a good one.
Because I know, like, yeah, in certain religions, burying procedures are different. Like,
Right.
people
right.
need to be buried within a certain amount of hours or a certain amount of
Right,
days.
yeah, and there's
Yeah.
only certain people who can touch the body or not. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that
could
makes
see there being
sense.
stuff like that. I feel like there could. I don't know if there is actually, but there could be something about, like kids or children too, or maybe childbirth.
Well,
Wait,
we kind of covered
kinda
childbirth,
covered that.
though.
But like as it relates to uncleanness,
Yeah,
what was the?
because it was like
it was a
s-
very short chapter.
Was I
like a cer-
drinking too much in that one?
Yeah, I think you were. I think you were. You need to go back and listen.
Okay, I'll go back and listen to that one.
Yeah. Well, all right. Very much looking forward to seeing more. Hopefully, it will be less gross at some point. This wasn't quite as gross.
This
as
wasn't
last
as
week.
bad. No, this was not nearly
Ironically,
as bad as last week.
ironically,
I know. Yeah,
I
but
mean, we said the word discharge a lot.
we
but-
Yeah.
did. I mean, I'm kind of numb to that word now, but
Yeah.
anyways, we'll see what we get numb to next time. Thank you again, Kurt, for the amazing beer. We really, really appreciate it, and looking forward to talking to you all about Leviticus again.
What you can